It's time for the Double Stop with Brian Sword.
I feel like I've been blasted to sleep!
Welcome to the Double Stop Podcast. I'm Brian Sword, and this is day one of my report from NAMM 2015. Appropriately, this little bit of shred music you're hearing comes courtesy of Jeff Martin, my guest from episode 28. He shared this sample with me today, and I told him I'd play it on the show. Look for new music from them in 2015. I also ran into a few other past guests, Greg Chason, Kenny Aronoff, Ronnie Jones, and Marco Mendoza. And Marco's also got something cool up his sleeve, so you can look for an update interview with him coming soon. Now, to NAMM 2015. I took a quick pass at most of the show floor today, and I got some short interviews with the vendors that really caught my eye. I'll be doing a few more episodes over the next few days, reporting on my full NAMM experiences. My first interview is with Jeff Kiesel. Now, Jeff explains some of the history of carving guitars and what's new and exciting from them in 2015. He also covers the relationship between Carvin Guitars and Kiesel Guitars. And congrats to them for signing Greg Howe to an endorsement deal. Check out episode 36 for my episode with Greg. And here's my interview with Jeff Kiesel.
Hey guys, my grandfather started Kiesel back in 1946, and originally he was selling through a dealer network, and because the dealer was insolvent and was not selling his pickups, he opted out, and the dealer said, you can't get out. So my grandfather folded the Kiesel company in 1949 and changed the name to Carvin. His first two born kids, Carson and Gavin, merged the names together and made Carvin. Well, we've operated together as a family. The Kiesel family has owned Carvin, and up until last week, there was 5 of us that owned the company. My dad and me owned one half of the company. My dad's older brother, Carson, owned the other half with his 2 kids. Well, his 2 kids and Carson are going off, and they're doing Carvin Audio and Carvin Amps. And me and my dad changed our name to Kiesel Guitars to pay, tribute to my grandfather, Lowell Kiesel, who founded our company. And we own the Carvin Guitars brand name. So Kiesel Guitars is Carvin Guitars. All the models are the same. We have the same staff, the same models, same options. And the quality is just only going to get better because we can further focus on what we specialize and love. So these are 2 completely separate companies. And some new things that the Kiesel Guitars company has this year is we have the Vader series, which is a 6, 7, or 8-string headless guitar. That is a double cut design with optional chambered body. It does feature a neck-through construction and optional 25.5-inch scale length for 6 and 7 string, and the 6, 7, and 8 standard come in a 27-inch scale. We also have Lee McKinney from Born of Osiris. We have 2 signature models from him, a 6 and a 7. And Greg Howe, we have a signature 24-fret bolt-on neck chambered body guitar for Greg Howe. And we did the Jason Becker tribute for Jason Becker. So we did the Numbers guitar. We brought that back out. And along with all that, we've increased our custom shop options, finishes. We've created a whole new Kiesel pickup line. That's how we started business, was Kiesel pickups. And so we're full circle. We're right back into what we know and what we love. And, it's really awesome. So if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to us, 858 Guitars. You can hit us on social media at Carvin Guitars Official or Kiesel Guitars. And that's what's new for NAMM. So be checking our site, and thanks for listening.
Next up is another guitar company, VGA. I was walking past, and their fretless guitar stopped me in my tracks. So here's DJ Scully explaining what's new and exciting for VGA guitars.
All right. Hey, Brian. Thank you for having us on here. Yeah, in 2015, we're really proud to announce a couple new innovations. For anybody, I'll try and keep it brief for the uninitiated, but we do have a couple of things that are based on old things that we did that were innovative to begin with, if you can follow what I'm saying. Okay. So two of the big things that we have going on right now are related to our trems. So all of our trems pivot on needle bearings instead of knife edges, and we've been doing that for years, and there's nothing new there. But at the top, at the headstock, what we have is a brand new 0 fret. So it's actually segmented into 6 little pieces. So even though it's hardened stainless steel, because there's constant pressure on the 0 fret, you do have to replace them. And in the past, you would have to replace the entire 0 fret. Now you do it string by string, because a lot of guys will find like their unwound strings will go faster than the other ones. And so it keeps costs down for the player, and it's actually a little bit easier to do than to get the whole thing seated in there. Behind our Teflon nut this year, we introduced a string dampener. And what that does is it kills all the annoying pings and pops and just the stuff that you don't want in your coming through your pickups. So the combination of the tremolo, the 0 fret, the Teflon nut, the string dampener, and our proprietary flex retainer string retainers, it's almost completely friction free. There's no binding, and everything returns to 0 every time. Of course, we have custom oversized locking tuners made by Schaller, and that goes for all of our trems. All of our guitars have stainless steel frets. All of our guitars have the same 1090 neck system, which we've been doing since 1988. So what that means is there's 10% carbon and 90% maple in every neck, and the neck doesn't move. So what caught your eye, if I'm not mistaken, was our fretless guitar. And so we started doing fretlesses in the early 80s, and they didn't really catch on, so Patrice kind of put it to bed. Bumblefoot in about 96 or 97, whenever he signed with us, said, hey, I want to play some fretless guitars. So we started making it again, and it kind of took off. And it's one of our calling cards. It's definitely something that catches people's eyes. And so the 1090 neck system, in relation to the fretless, is really important because the neck never moves. So what that allows us to do is to slam the action against the metal fingerboard. It's not totally against it, but you can play with an ultra light touch. So when you're playing with a hard touch, your finger is sucking up a lot of the energy from the string, and when you just defret a fretted instrument, the wood is sucking up a lot of the other energy. So you get no sustain, you get a lifeless tone, and what the iMetal with the 1090 neck system does is it eliminates as much of that as humanly possible. So you get similar sustain to a fretted instrument, and all the tonal possibilities of going up and down.
Is there any technology behind that, or is it still all in your fingers?
It's all your ear, really. Guthrie Govin plays the fretless, and he won't do it if he can't get an in-ear monitor on stage, and I don't blame him, because you have to really listen, because frets are not perfect, so the lines that are on the side of the board are not perfect as a result, and so you're always making microtonal, even if it's subconscious, you're still rotating your finger this way or that way to stay in tune with whoever you're playing with. So it's definitely, a lot of advanced players say it's like taking the training wheels off, because you're playing the note, the guitar isn't responsible for the pitch. So on the other side, also the 3 guitars we're looking at here, we got 3 new colors. We have Mysterious Black and Mysterious Red. Last year we introduced Mysterious Blue and Green, and they were a huge hit, so we decided to push it a little bit further. They're new burst colors. They're a little darker than what we've done in the past, but I think it brings the beauty of the maple tops out a little bit more, and they're a little bit more dramatic. On the opposite side, we have these Revolution colors available on the GV Rocks. We have Revolution Green Matte, Revolution Yellow Matte, which is a limited edition and comes with black hardware, and Revolution Red Matte. We're also doing Black Matte, and they are cool colors because they're bright. They make the guitars look lighter somehow because of their brightness. And they kind of hug the curves of what makes the GV cool, like the little scoop on the upper bout and like the little scoop on the bottom horn, and combine that with the natural maple binding, and you just end up with a very handsome instrument.
Well, as soon as I saw it, I had to touch it.
Yeah, that's how and it feels good, right?
Yeah, for sure, but I was like, is it plastic? What is it? I have to touch it.
Yeah, no, that's just a regular varnish, just sanded in a way to make it matte. And what's cool is, personally, I prefer an unfinished or a matte finish neck, so this is the first time we were able to offer that on a GV besides the GV metal. On the bass side of the equation, we have a couple new things. I'm a bassist myself, and what I play is this exact bass. I play a natural XS4 string with a rosewood board, and this bass screams, it growls, its single coils are cut through the mix, they sound great, but in the past they were super, super goddamn noisy, and it was a bear to tame them on stage. So we teamed up with Benedetti to make the pickups that sound exactly the same but have zero noise. So combine that with the 2-band EQ, with the 18-volt 2-band EQ, and you are off to the races. It's great. I use it in front of my meat smoke, and it drives that amp in such a pleasing way. We also introduced a couple other matte finishes that are shown on some basses. The first one down here is clear red matte. So it's clear red, but it's a matte finish, so you can see the grain, but it's not. It's kind of modern looking, I think. And over on the 5-string over there, we have anti-tobacco matte, because we didn't want to name something after a product that kills so many people and gets everybody sick. So we took the exact opposite trend. But it's a nice two-tone traditional burst. It's just very handsome, and the matte is cool. I think, again, like the matte is a little bit more of a modern look. And that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions?
How can people find you?
VGAUSA.com if you're in the States. If you're outside of the States, go to VGAguitars.com, and that'll take you to where you need to be. We're on Facebook at VGA, Facebook.com/VGA official, and Instagram.com/VGA Guitars. And VGA is VIGIER. You can email me at dj@VGAguitars.com. And I think that's it, man. Thank you so much.
Next up is Jeff from Tascam, and he's explaining some gear that'll be of particular interest to my fellow podcasters.
We have the new DR44WL. This is a new 4-channel portable recorder that has built-in microphones as well as XLR ins. So you can record all 4 channels, or there's a feature called dual recording where you can record a copy of your audio at a lower level. So if it distorts, then you have a backup that's not distorted. In addition, the DR44WL has a Wi-Fi feature where you can connect it with your iOS or Android phone for remote control. You can transfer files over and then upload those to SoundCloud and have instant access to them. So it's a unique feature on the DR44, and then we have another called the DR22WL that doesn't have the XLRs. That's an additional feature recorder that has that Wi-Fi function. But the DR44WL is available now, sells for $299.
And what's the biggest difference between this and an H4n?
The Wi-Fi feature, for sure. Wi-Fi lets you get into all the recording settings. You can change the input level. You can turn on tracks, start recording, and get things uploaded. So if you're out at an event, you can record it, immediately transfer it to your phone and upload it, and then it'll even record a WAV file and an MP3 file at the same time. So you have the MP3 file to upload right away, and then you have a higher quality WAV file as an archive if you want to do something with it later on.
And I see you've already won an award for it.
Yeah, we just got the Electronic Musicians Editor's Choice Award for 2015 on the DR44. And the first of many, I'm sure.
Thank you very much. What's next on the list?
We have 2 new audio interfaces, the US 2x2 and the US 4x4. They are both USB audio interfaces. The 2x2 is a 2-in, 2-out. 4x4 is 4-in, 4-out. And you can use them with Mac or Windows. And they also have class-compliant drivers, so you can plug it directly into an iPad or any other class-compliant device for recording like that. So two microphone inputs, real high quality mic ins, and another great feature of the 2x2 and the 4x4 is it has these what we're calling BioCell side panels that angle it up off the table. So it's a little bit more ergonomic to use. You don't have to bend way down or look up to see where the knobs are set. It's kind of at your eye level, and just another design tweak that we think make it pretty easy to use.
And who would be the main person who would want to use this device?
It's for any computer recording setup, so anything from podcasting all the way up to video editing, music recording. There's a bunch of great functions for it, and it sounds amazing.
And how much would this retail for?
The 2x2 sells for $149. The 4x4 sells for $249, and they each come with 2 recording packages, either Cakewalk Sonar LE or Live Light 9 from Ableton.
Now I have Ben from Earthquaker Devices. These are a line of guitar pedals. They're really impressive, so I had to learn more.
Well, we have two brand new fuzz pedals for 2015. The first is the Park Fuzz Sound, which is it's a replica of the old Park Fuzz from the 60s. Uses vintage germanium transistors. It's real high gain, just real classic sounding, smooth, nice, thick, vintage fuzz. And then we also have the Fuzzmaster General, which is loosely based on an old Ace Tone Fuzzmaster 2. It's an octave fuzz, so it gives you an analog octave up. There's a three-way switch on it that sets the mode. In mode 1, you get germanium clipping diodes. In mode 2, you get silicon clipping diodes, which sound very different. And then in mode 3, it just bypasses the diodes, so you get a lot more output. It's real interesting sounding. In the third mode, where it bypasses the diodes, the octave can almost get a little ring moddy sounding. It has some weird harmonics in there. Yeah, it's a very interesting fuzz pedal. You can get a lot of different sounds on it. And then we also have two reworkings of older pedals. The C Machine, which is our chorus, has been redesigned to fit in a smaller enclosure and has a second LED now. And then the Hummingbird has been redesigned to have an expression pedal input that allows you to sweep the tremolo rate with your foot.
And here's another one that really stopped me in my tracks. This one's Artisan Bassworks. Now the thing about these basses is that the necks come in at an angle. Bodies look normal, except the bridge was down by where you'd expect the knobs to be. So when walking past, it would just stop me. I'm like, what is happening here? So I've got Derek explaining what is up with Artisan Bassworks.
Yes, what we have here is a standard jazz bass shape done our way. What we do is we utilize answer technology, where we put the neck of the body or neck of the bass into the body at an angle. What that does is that makes a completely balanced instrument without any neck dive, much more comfortable, much significantly less stress on your wrist, your shoulder, your back, much better for you, much easier to play. The benefits are immediately noticed as soon as you hang it on or sit it on your knee. All of these, they come painted, they come with the wood lambs, they come in all the finishes, all the pickup configurations, active or passive. And we also have some non-traditional shapes. We have some more modern shapes, and it's a real game changer. This is a legitimate new technology that really all the new musicians should try, because if any musician that plays for hours or plays for a living, any of these repetitive stress injuries cause them to lose work. And you can't make any money when you can't work. So, and for any new musician, starting off playing on an instrument that's ergonomic and better for their body is a healthier, better way of going. So,
And where can people find these?
our website is artisanbassworks.com. They can find us on Facebook, same Artisan Bassworks, and we're just east of Cleveland.
And what's the price range for these?
They start for the standard classic series, which is the Fender Jazz type. They start about $1,800 retail. The painted versions are about $1,900. The fancy Buckeye Burl, like I've got in my hand here, is an exotic wood lamb with a gloss finish. That's in the area of $2,400. And the full-on customs can go up from there.
And in terms of the original idea to go in at an angle, where did that come from?
Actually, the founder of the company, Jody Michael, was actually sitting at an audition, and he's looking around the room at all the other musicians that are going to audition, and he notices them all yanking their neck up. And it just occurred to him, why hasn't anybody made the instrument ergonomic? Well, 20 years later, he actually received the patent, and we started the company. And I'm rooted in wood construction, so he came to me and we partnered up, and the rest is history.
And how long have you been going?
We're in about our 6th year now.
And how's it going?
It's going really well, especially the last couple of years. Really, it takes time to break into this industry, get people beyond the fact that they just look a little different, and actually get them on. And we call it our light bulb moment. As soon as they strap it and hang it on, you see the light bulb go off above their head. They instantly understand the benefits of it.
As a Canadian, I had to stop by Yorkville Sound. I've got Darren explaining what's new and exciting in their PA lines.
So this is Darren Butt from Yorkville Sound. I'm the product specialist who's actually right out of the facility in Pickering, Ontario, Canada. We build about 75 to 80% of our products in Pickering, Ontario, Canada. Right now, what you can hear over top of me is our brand new EXM 400 system. It is a 400 watt active mini compact array system. Weighs less than 50 pounds. 400 watts program power, 800 watts peak power. Features a 4-channel mixer built in on the back. Tone control, level control, reverb control, as well on the mic inputs, as well as a really cool feature that we've just put into the product. Actually features a Bluetooth capability to be able to stream from any smart device. So a really big product for us, an innovative product for us that we feel is going to do really well in 2015 and for years to come. So we move over to our left here, and we see the brand new NX10C speakers we have. Again, another big innovative product for Yorkville Sound, another made in Canada product. The NX10C is a 10-inch coax 300 watt program, 600 watt peak loudspeaker that features a pole mount through technology that allows you to stack multiple boxes and angle them for wide coverage, or to stack them on top of each other for full output and full directivity. Can also be used as a stage monitor in a left or right configuration. Up to 3 boxes can be used on a stand like we have on display here for a total power of about 900 watts program power, 1800 watts peak, so a lot of horsepower, and the best thing being a coax box, full frequency response, and less than 25 pounds, so another big innovation for Yorkville Sound. We'll look over here to our right. We see the new Parasource series speakers. The PS10P, 12P, and 15P have been selling quite well for the last year. We've introduced the new subs, the PS12S, PS15S, and PS18S as well. 900 watts, 1,000 watts, and 1,200 watts for the 18. So a lot of power and a compact design, perfect for DJ application, live sound for high headroom applications as well. And we also have our Paraline series that's been doing extremely well for the last 3 years now. Paraline series in black. We also feature them in white as well, perfect for houses of worship, retail, commercial situations where cosmetics are probably one of the most important things. So as Yorkville Sound, we've got a lot of stuff covered, all the way from MI, entry-level PA, all the way up to high-end, really pro sound. And the whole concept with our stuff is it's made in Canada. It's got to be made to last for a long time and to run into no issues. So for NAMM 2015, this is Darren Butt, and if you've got any more product inquiries, I'd invite you to visit our website at www.yorkville.com. Thanks for your time.
I'm going to end today's interviews with 2 from Kurtzwell. First up is Nick, going through their line of keyboards.
So first, right off here, we have the RT7, which is our, I would say, our flashiest and our smallest lightweight pro keyboard. What the RT7 has is our brand new German 9-foot grand piano recording in a 76 key enclosure. It's under 30 pounds, very giggable. It's got this new silver finish and EQ on board, 9 sliders, lots of real-time control, lots of easy access favorites, and it's really oriented towards live performance. If you need to play organ somewhere, it's got a semi-weighted keyboard. It's not going to tire your fingers out. It's really great for bringing it around. Another addition to the Artis line here is the Artis SE. And so what's cool about the Artis SE is it uses the same 88-note hammer action keyboard as our Artis 8 line, but we've gotten rid of the cheek block, so we've cut the weight down by about 10 pounds, and it's a lot nicer of a form factor. It'll fit in the back seat of a car real easy. And then over here, this is the PC3A8. So this is a little bit of a combination between the PC3 line and the Artis line. What we did was we included the brand new German grand piano into our workstation line. So it replaces the user sampling option of the PC3K, and it'll give you the brand new piano in that sampling slot. So this is full editing. You have access to all of our algorithms, all of the vast synthesis engine, and all of our PC3 sounds with our brand new piano inside. The PC3A is $34.95 map. The RT7 is $16.95, and the Artis SE is $14.95.
Now I've got Jeff explaining their electric pianos.
So this has a real Italian grand action in it. Sit down. It has 88 different sounds, starting with the piano. So you have different pianos. That's just not piano 1 and 2, but bright pianos. Right. You've got pianos with strings. Electric pianos. Different organs. And you can get to these things by just hitting the voice button and hitting one of the keys. So rotary speaker built into it, operates on the pedal. And you go up to pipe organs. There's a little diapason. Go up a little further, you have things like flute. And then some other orchestral sounds. And then and vocals, they're a little further up. So you got the jazzy Take 6 type vocals, or you got standard choir. And a little further up you have things like basses, nylon string guitars. All right, so anyway, we have different models of the MP series. There's the MPS 10, which is a slab unit that can fit on a stand. Then there's the console version over there. It's a little louder sound. You can kind of hear what it'll give you a little bit more power. As soon as I unplug the headphones. But on all our products, including the MPS 10, it also has outputs. Inputs and outputs, so you can hook it up to some other sound system, just in case you need. And then again, same type of operation. You can either hit next and go up to the same sound, or just hit voice and. Sorry. All right. And then this next one over here, this is a compact upright. The compact upright features, again, 88 different sounds and operates pretty much the same way, but it has this really cool little control panel down here. And you can just push it in if you don't want to see it. Also, there's where your headphone jack is. Take this off, and now 150 watts. To get another sound, you can do it the same way we did it before. Just hit voice and now this is an electric piano and a bass split. Or move up a little bit more. Next, clavs or harpsichords. Or if you keep moving up, again, you've got hit it softly. So you got some velocity sensitivity on some of your sounds. Okay? And then next is the grand. This particular one has 200 sounds, and you access the sounds by this control panel here. You see there's 3 different rows, so you've still got a grand piano here. Or Or if you want less brightness, a little more mellow sound. You also have EQ controls here. So you can make quite a difference in your sounds. And again, you come over here, you look at you have strings. Also, electric pianos in this one too. Right, and then if you want to split the keyboard, it's really easy. You've got an upright bass here. Right, or you can split it. The great thing about this too is you can change the octaves on the lower side. So if you don't want to play bass, you just want to comp with some chords and just play a lead, you can do the same thing. Right? 200 sounds, 150 watts, and it's a mini grand, so it's 3 feet. It'll fit in. It'll fit in nicely to anybody's living room or studio area.
Now, what's the difference in the kind of buyer who would want a stand-up electric piano versus the more traditional keyboard?
Well, actually, in some cases, the same buyer who wants that would also want this. It's just sometimes, if he wants to bring that home, the wife will say, "Not in my living room." So a lot of these sounds reflect some of the same sounds that are in the PC3 series or the Forte, and in addition, though, schools will buy these because they're on stands and they can be hooked up to labs, and therefore you can have maybe 16 students playing at one time.
Now that ended my interviews for the day, but this evening I went to the 50th anniversary celebration for PV. It started with a press conference and I had a panel, some guys from Lynyrd Skynyrd, Michael Anthony from Van Halen and Chickenfoot, Kenny Aronoff, Rudy Sarzo, but unfortunately it wasn't mic'd. So I recorded it anyway, and I apologize for the audio, but it was the best I could get. But Hartley Peavy was there, and I found some of the things he was saying for the reasons for their success to be really interesting. So I'm going to include it in the show. But like I said, the audio is really rough, but hopefully you can decipher what he's saying.
But you see, you listen, because it's not about what I think that they should like. It's about what they like. It doesn't matter. They may not know the technical things and how to work with high voltage and that kind of thing. But the trick is listening. A lot of people that build equipment, they want to tell artists what they need. We approach from the other end. You tell us what you want. And it's difficult. It's difficult because, quite honestly, a lot of these guys are not technical. So when they tell us what they want, the trick is listening and trying to make it happen. Sadly, no language, as far as I know, is capable of describing tone. If I tell you I'm coming through the door with a black t-shirt, you kind of know what to expect. If somebody says, I want a nice full low end and a smooth middle and kind of a crisp high, what the hell does that mean? So it's kind of a guessing game and being able to interpret what these guys say. And at the end of the day, this is why he doesn't have a quote-unquote signature tone. Some of our competitors do. That's what they do. You can listen to it on record and say, oh, that's brand X, Y, or Z. We build for the artist. They tell us what they want. It's not what I want, but it's what they want. And I'm not going to buy amplifiers. I've got thousands of them in the warehouse. It's up to them. They are the tone meisters, not me. And that's the difference between people and some of my competitors. Quite honestly, some of them think they know everything. It's not up to me to judge what is good. It's up to these guys. They tell me what's good, and my job is to try to figure it out and make it happen. And that's the challenge, but on the other hand, that's the fun. Well, every day new technology comes along. I would have never in a million years ever thought that we would have 2,000 different products. And it's very difficult to do that. when we decided to get in the guitar business, we didn't want to get in the guitar business like everybody else. We did it a different way. We were the first people back in the 70s to use computer-controlled machines to make guitars. Everybody said I was crazy. But today, that's where everybody's doing it. If you're making guitars, you're using computer-controlled equipment. We did it in the mid-70s. In 1993, we introduced the world's first digital audio networking system. Everybody thought I was crazy. Technology is enabling us to do things today that 5 years ago would have been magic. In fact, as we're about to introduce technology that can listen to any amplifier and duplicate it, I'm terrifically excited about it. And you know what? A lot of guitar players especially get mad at me when I tell them there's no magic. It's like telling a kid there's no Santa Claus. Magic is what you don't understand. But if you spend 50 years studying something, then you understand a hell of a lot more than people that come up. See, there is nobody that has any magic. Technology is not magic, it's technology. If you don't understand the technology, then it looks like magic, but the reality is it's not. So there is no magic. There is a lot of technology, and I learned something here today. So, PV.
After the press conference, the main show started. And they had a bunch of people come out and speak about PV and what it's meant. But there was two people that came out that I thought were particularly interesting. The first is DJ Keith Shockley of Public Enemy. I know it's not the normal kind of band that I would have on the show, but he was talking about the history of rap and DJing and how PV played a part. Here's DJ Shockley.
Y'all all right out there? I can't hear enough noise. Y'all all right out there? Because we're here to celebrate Hartley's PV 50th year. Alright? Just want to make sure y'all alive. I know you're wondering, why is this guy up here? And I'm not a real musician, I don't play an instrument. But I got a crazy story though. Now, back in 1974, there was this DJ craze going on in Manhattan. Now this is the beginning of hip hop. So this is why I'm up here. So, we used anything we can to DJ in the parks. Which was affordable was the PV column speakers. Now going back 40 years, y'all. Y'all hear me? PV column speakers with the 450 guitar amp. We wired 2 turntables up to it. Thus, the beginning of DJs in the parks in New York City. Beginning of hip hop. This is why I'm here. I've been rocking with PV equipment since that long. The one thing about PV equipment, as it went on, it became affordable for cats like us growing up in the inner city and in the suburbs that didn't have a lot of money. So, as our DJ world got better, we could only afford the CS400 and the CS800 power amps. And if you understand that, some of you musicians understand how heavy that shit was. Alright? So, in celebration of PV, Hartley PV, to show y'all that he's been in the beginning of hip hop and y'all didn't even know that. This is why my crew is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Understand? It's kind of powerful right there. I want to say, Hartley, thank you for having me here. We love you. Give us another 50 years, all right? Peace, y'all.
The other person who I thought was particularly interesting was Michael Anthony. With his speech, he tied things back to the same clip that I played earlier of Hartley PV talking about what made PV so successful.
Hello, I don't know what I can add to that, Hartley. Everybody's probably said everything that can be said about it. I just want to say, 6 years ago, I was just had left a company, an endorsement, because I was not satisfied with what they were doing for me, amplification and whatever. And right at that time, I was playing in a band with Joe Satriani, Chickenfoot, and Joe introduces me to Chris Kelly, who happened to be at the studio one day, and Chris goes, "Hey, how would you like to try? We're working on a new PV bass amp." And I thought, well, I wasn't looking to jump into anything, and so I wasn't looking for anything, but I said, yeah, sure. Well, make a long story short, that was in 2009, and fast forward to now I've got my own signature amp with PV, and just like Robert said, and probably everybody else has said, that the one thing in it, and actually Hartley, when he's telling the press here in our conference earlier, that he prides himself upon listening to the musician, what the musician wants, and what the musician needs, and not just saying, hey, this is the state-of-the-art thing, this is what you should be playing, this has this and that. It's what the artist likes, and that's the reason why I'm here with PV. And Hartley, I'm glad that I could be a small part of the last 50 years, and hopefully I'm a big part of the next 50 years. Hartley, thank you.
The show ended with some bands playing. First up was Blue Oyster Cult, and they had special guest Kenny Aronoff play a little cowbell. And finally, some members of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Michael Anthony, Kenny Aronoff came out, played a few tunes, and that's how I'm going to end the show. Here is the very cool jam that ended PV's 50th anniversary. Hopefully, if I have the energy, there'll be another show tomorrow.